Hi, I'm Susan and this is the Foster Farmhouse. And I wanted to bring you along today with me as I replant some of my hanging baskets. I have to replant them because they are pretty much fried and dead from the hot heat and the sun. And I did water them twice a day. I tried to do that, but in the last week or so it was so smoky. I only got out to water them maybe once a day. And I did notice too that the soil from watering them so much, a lot of it had run out, and the soil became like rock. It was just getting really hard and it just needs a refresher. So I'm going to be replanting that, and I found some ferns at Walmart for $5 each for each plant, which was a tremendous buy. It's the end of the season and there's some great things for sale in the nurseries right now, and so I bought those ferns, and we have couple more months, 3 more months. We have the rest of August and September and hopefully October to enjoy those ferns. So I'm just going to plant those up in there, and I am going to exchange the ones that are in there. So I want to take you along and you can see me do that. And I'm also gonna give you a tour of our vegetable garden today. It is not, some things are growing better than last year and some things are not, and that's just the life of a gardener. But I was wanting to do the tour a little earlier. When I was picking the onions, I pretty much picked the onions, and so I'll show you, there's a few little onions left in there. But it was just so smoky. We've been having such terrible smoke here in our region, and the smoke's been coming for the past 3 weeks. In the last 2 days, finally it's been cleared out, and we even have blue sky today. I am so excited. I haven't been able to see the sky in weeks because of the smoke. We've had smokes from other states and up in Canada, and our own state had a few fires. They got those out pretty well, but the other states and Canada were still fighting their fires, and all that smoke just blew in here and stuck for pretty much the month of July. So I apologize if I didn't get very many videos out for July. It was just too smoky. But anyways, I'm going to be taking you along with me as I transplant my pots, my hanging pots over by the little barn, and put the ferns in. And I'm going to show you the vegetable garden, and I have to do some weeding in there, and then I may be planting up some beans where I had my onions, and a few other things. I'm gonna maybe try to plant some lettuce today too, so I can have some lettuce growing come September. And the nights get a little cooler now, so that's good, and I think they'll be okay. Okay, so we are in the garden and I just want to show you, I've got peppers growing. Can you see those? I lift up this leaf, but there's, gotta focus, several in there. Yeah, see all the peppers? There's a bunch of them in here too. Right there. And right over here, there's a bunch in here. So I'm so excited. So exciting. Onions coming up, and I planted some later. And I've got tomatoes on there, and they're full of fruit, different varieties, and I planted them from seed, and I really was bad at marking them. So I've got some tomatoes over here that are ready for harvest. So I'm going to be doing that right now. Growing here, and this is gone. I waited too long. This was supposed to be cauliflower, and well, I don't know if I waited too long. I've never grown cauliflower, so I'm just gonna wait a little bit longer. It looks to me like it was time to pick it. And here's some growing in here. It's not white yet, so this is what I'm wondering, if maybe I planted a variety that was green and I can't remember. So I'll probably pick that and see if it tastes good when it gets a little bit bigger. Here's some more peppers. I've got peppers growing. Lots of tomatoes. Now this is a good example of this going to flower and I waited too long. I'm going to give it to Sophie. I'm going to break it off. Maybe I'll get, I don't know if it's the same as broccoli, but maybe it'll grow another head. I'm not sure. I'm going to test it out. But I'm going to harvest this today because this is ready to harvest. This is going to seed, so I'm going to give that to Sophie, our goat. And I really should use a knife, but I'm just going to break it off with my hands. And she'll think that's a great treat. Here is another cauliflower head. And I've got an eggplant, which I've got a bloom on there, so I'm really excited. I hope that it grows. Maybe I'll get some eggplants this year. I've got self-seeded tomato plants that I didn't plant and I just let it grow, but in there is some bachelor button, which I think is really pretty. And this plant, somebody gave it to me at a wedding venue, and I don't even know what it's called, but I see that it's gonna have blooms, and they just are profuse. They get super tall, and it will take over this corner with beautiful yellow flowers, so I can't wait to show you that. And my sweet peas are growing. I've never had success this well. They're growing up the fence, and I've got to pick those so they'll have more blooms. But the stalks are green and happy, and I think I'm going to start getting a lot of blooms here. And I've got a sunflower that just self-seeded right there. I've got a lot of birds in my yard, and I feed them sunflower seeds, and I have sunflowers growing everywhere. But inside here is a cucumber, and I've been coming out here when I need a cucumber, and there's always one on here for me to pick when I need to for a salad, so that's good. And I've got a watermelon growing here, and it's very tiny, but I noticed, where did I see that? A little itty bitty baby watermelon, so we'll see if it grows. A little pepper. I've got little pepper starting here, and jalapeno right over here. I believe that's jalapeno. And then I've got poblano peppers growing. I think they're just starting. And artichokes is an experiment, and it's blooming. So, you know, I don't know if that's as big as it's gonna get, and it's just kind of didn't do very well and dwarfed, or if it's gonna flower out and plant get bigger and have more artichokes on it. I am not sure how this goes, so I'm just waiting. This is what I saw. It was a little bitty, and now it's opening up into a flower. Maybe it's what all it's gonna do. I don't know, but I know it's hard to grow artichokes here in this area. So it's a zone 5. Sometimes a zone 6 in the microclimates in our area, but I'm sure I'm a zone 5 here, so it just I might not have success with it, but we'll see. It's an experiment. I just planted these strawberries this spring, so I notice I'm getting a bunch of berries. They're ever-bearing berries on here, so I'm excited. And there's a bunch of runners, so I'm gonna cut those off and transplant those farther down the row and in between, just so that I have more berries. But I'm really pleased because it looks like we're gonna get another crop of berries, and I've got more on these plants than when I planted them in the spring. Here I have tomatillos growing, and they're just all over, and I can let you see them, but they're starting to grow. So I'm excited to have that. I want to make some good Mexican dishes with the poblano peppers and jalapenos and the tomatillos. I'm excited. And this zucchini plant has been giving me zucchini all month or more. And oh my gosh, I didn't notice this. That's what happens with zucchini. Can you see that? A ginormous one. I gotta pick that out. Here's some more. This is a yellow squash, and I'm finally getting some yellow squash. They're really tiny. And this plant isn't producing as well so far. Oh yes, there's a whole bunch back there. I gotta go pick. It's just hard to see, so I just have tons, and I see little bees in there, so that's good. And over in here, it's flowering, but this is parsley, and I've got to really cut it back. It's just gone to flower. And I've got basil under here. I got to pick some of that. And I have cilantro that's kind of gone to seed, but I can use a seed. Oh, it smells so fresh. And I've got Brussels sprouts here. I heard to plant those, and they will be a host for the aphids and get them off the plants in your garden. And I've got a ladybug there, so it's probably eating the aphids off of it. I have a bunch of stuff that is in here growing. Got sunflowers, but it's been overtaken by the zucchini and squash plants, but that's okay. And whoops, I've got a weed growing in here. That's what happens when I don't go out because of the smoke. And something ate this. Not good. But I'm gonna pick this. I've been picking tomatoes from this tomato plant. It's a early grow. It was the earliest, it's true. It had the earliest ripe tomatoes for me to eat. My other ones are just now starting to get big, and they'll ripen up soon. And here on my trellis, and I love this trellis, it is almost at the top. I'm growing pumpkins, and I'm growing cucumbers and green beans, and I'm just letting it go wild at this point and just see what grows, because it's just planted maybe too much, but it's really pretty. I love the way it looks. And look, I didn't see, but I've got a big huge cucumber. I've got 2 actually, and this is a cucumber growing up, so I'm gonna cut that off. I should probably snip it with some snippers. I'll have to, I'm gonna go get snippers because I'm almost through. Yeah. So look, cucumber, awesome. And I've got another one, and it's huge. So all my stuff is starting to produce, and I'm so excited. Wow, I don't want to hurt the plant, so I'm gonna have to twist that off. Wow, 2 cucumbers. I'll put that in my basket. I'm getting some food. Well, so I just wanted to kind of finish up this video and kind of give you an update of what I did. I went and did a lot more than I thought I would do, and I decided I was not going to replant some of the hanging baskets. They weren't as bad as I thought. I just refreshed them with some new potting soil, and I added some petunias to the hanging baskets. And I think if I keep them watered and fertilize them, that they'll probably come back as the weather cools a bit, and they'll get happy and healthier again. So I decided to put my ferns on my whiskey barrels under our covering here by the barn, and I will show you a picture of that. And then over here, I went and planted some more plants by the little fountain that I made. And I just think it looks a little more cheery. And the hanging basket up above the tree, I took out those flowers because they were totally dead. And I'm just gonna replant those. But let me show you everything up close of what I did here in this new area. And I'll also just do a quick recap of my vegetable garden. So that is it for my video today. I hope you enjoyed this and maybe it inspired you in some way to go out and weed in your garden, get all the weeds up, and take out anything that was dead from the heat, and go find some good buys at the nurseries, and put them in there and just kind of refresh your baskets, and I will hopefully see you next time. Thanks for joining me.